Hello, welcome back to my channel. This video, I want to talk about a specific situation and how to deal with it. And that situation is the yo-yo dieting situation. It also applies to you if you are just someone that has been restricting your food intake for years or even months, and you're already eating very low calories. So your body you're maintaining your current body weight and you truly are eating a small amount of food. So as I said, typically I see this in my female clients who have been yo-yo dieting for years, trying all the latest trends that put you on a very limited amount of food or a restricted amount of food, and then they go through binge cycles and then they try another diet, and they're constantly going between that restrict and binge, like overeating cycle. So what happens in that case is they end up losing a bit of weight quickly and then gaining the weight back even faster. And what that actually does to your metabolism in the meantime is basically it gets used to eating a very small amount of food. And when I say very small, I typically mean usually I see these people, they come to me and they're already eating about 1,500 calories a day, 1,400, 1,300, sometimes 1,200 calories. Like, you can get stuck on any one of those. You can get stuck, your body will adapt to any calorie intake that you eat. But specifically, it's a problem if you are already eating only 1,500 calories. It's not enough food to start a diet on. So it's hard for you if you are in this position. And I'm not talking about you if you're skinny fat, by the way. That's a whole different situation. I'm talking about if you're overweight, if you need to lose fat, if fat loss is your goal, and you keep hearing everyone say, oh, you just need a calorie deficit. And yes, you do need a calorie deficit to lose weight or to lose fat. That is totally like the minimum requirement. But if your body is already used to eating 1,500 calories, it's just a calorie deficit isn't the right approach for you to start with. So what is? I will get to that in a minute, but the reason a calorie deficit isn't right for you to start with is the fact that you will continue to adapt to the deficit. And if you have fat to lose, you're going to need to be on a diet and be in a calorie deficit probably longer than 8 weeks and probably longer than 12 weeks even. It depends how much fat you have to lose. Of course, you need to make your own judgments there. This is a general video, but you want to be looking like 12 weeks minimum, but probably 6 months to a year. So if you're already eating only 1,500 calories and you create a calorie deficit, so then that puts you on to 1,200 calories, that's actually not a very big deficit, like 1,500 to 1,200, that's 300 calories, right? So for you to lose a pound of fat a week, you need to create a deficit of 3,500 calories, around that anyway. So that means you need a deficit of 500 calories a day. Now, if you're already used to eating 1,500 calories, a 500 calorie day deficit isn't going to be possible. Like, eating 1,000 calories is not going to give your body enough energy to actually maintain health at the same time. So you don't want to go there. So what do you do then? Maybe you start with a 300 calorie day deficit and you go to 1,200 calories a day. But eventually, or pretty quickly actually, your body is going to adapt on 1,200 calories before you've even lost the amount of fat that you want to lose. So it's a big problem. But it's not a problem that there isn't a solution for. It's just going to take you a bit longer to actually get to the outcome you want. So here is what I do with my clients who come to me on very restricted calories, usually around that 1,500, 1,400 mark, and want to lose fat. You need to start with a reverse diet. And what I mean by that, I'm going to link an article I wrote about it below that will go into detail on how to set this up if you are in this situation. But basically what you need to do is you need to, first of all, start tracking your food and by the way, I didn't mention this before, but this is for people that are truly eating 1500 calories. A lot of you, or I get two types of clients, or I get many clients, but one type is truly eating 1500 calories and they're stuck there. The other type thinks they're eating 1500 calories or 1200 calories, but when they actually track things properly and weigh out their food and track everything, including oil and nuts and all these little extras that they nibble on throughout the day, they're actually eating more like 2,000, 2,500 calories. So this video doesn't apply if that's your case. You're simply eating too much food and a calorie deficit will work for you. But I'm talking about those people that are truly eating a very restricted diet, so around 1,500 calories or less. If that is you, you need to be tracking your food, and then every week you need to be slowly increasing your calories. So that is a reverse diet. It basically means adding food week by week or adding calories week by week with the goal of bringing up your total daily energy expenditure to where it really should be based on your body weight and based on your activity, so your true total daily energy expenditure. Because if you have been yo-yo dieting for years, it's probably the case that your body has adapted on a energy expenditure that isn't what it should be. So you need to reverse diet, so slowly increase your calories week by week to give your metabolism like a chance to slowly adapt back up to a more sustainable amount of food. And you have to do this for weeks, probably months. It's a long process. But if you think about all the years of yo-yo dieting and restrictive eating, like that is what you're trying to fix through this process. So if you've been doing that for years, spending a year in a reverse diet probably isn't that long, relatively. So you need to keep adding calories week by week, and your body weight shouldn't really go up too much. If your body weight goes up over the course of the week by more than like a kilo, then really by more than half a kilo, I would say like you want your body weight. Most of my clients that do this, their body weight stays very similar week by week. And if it does increase by more than like half a kilo to a kilo, then we stay on those calories for another week or maybe another 2 weeks, and then we'll increase them again. So you want to slowly bring up your calories. Your body weight should really stay very stable throughout this. Maybe it will increase like by a kilo or 2 kilos max. In some cases, depending on how long you have been restricting yourself for, maybe it will increase a bit more, but that is fine because you're going to lose that weight eventually anyway. What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to come up to a more sustainable intake of food that you can actually then, that your body will get used to that increased number of food. Your total daily energy expenditure will reset to a higher level, and then you can start a diet. That is when you are in a good place to apply a calorie deficit, and your body will respond really well to that deficit. Whereas if you are eating 1,500 calories a day and you apply a deficit, you're going to be very hungry, you're going to be miserable, it's going to be really hard to stay on that for longer than, for as long as you need to. And that's part of the reason why restrictive diets don't work, because if you are on such a low amount of calories, like your body is going to be crying out for more food, not because it's starving, but just because it's like super hungry. It barely has enough energy to maintain its regular functions, you know? So I lost my train of thought, but anyway, if you're starting on 1,500 calories, like it just leaves you with not much room to go. If you start your diet on 2,000 calories or 2,200 calories, this is more for females, these numbers. Like I work with a lot of female clients, so that's what I'm like pulling out of my head. These are the kind of figures that I come across. If it's males, you're probably going to be on higher food, but I don't see this problem so much in male populations. I see it with females, so that's why I'm specifying and talking about females. So yeah, if you start your diet on 2,000 calories or 2,200 or 2,300 or wherever you finish your reverse diet, your body is going to respond really well. You're not going to be as, like, you'll be hungry, but because you've still got enough food to supply with your body with the energy it needs to function, it's just going to be a lot easier for you. You are going to find the dieting process a lot easier. You're going to respond really well to that calorie deficit, and you will lose any weight that you gain in that process of reverse dieting. And usually it's like minuscule anyway. So yes, it means that you have to put off getting to your goal for longer, but it means that you're going to be more successful in achieving your goal, because if you spend that time reverse dieting and then you drop your calories to a more sustainable level. So just say you get your calories to 2,000 calories or 2,200 calories. That effectively means you can start your diet on 1,700 calories, and you will lose weight, you will lose fat on 1,700 calories. So it's just going to be a lot easier. It's going to mean that you still have room to move when you eventually adapt to that 1,700 calorie mark. Then you can just take off some more calories, and you still won't be impacting your health in a negative way then. So that is what I would do if you are a yo-yo dieter. If you are used to eating a very small amount of food, I would not start your diet at 1,500 calories. You want to be eating around the 2,000 calorie mark or the 1,900 calorie mark or even 1,800 calories before you go and apply a calorie deficit to your situation. So I hope this makes sense. It is a kind of a complicated topic, I guess, but it's very common, and yeah, you want to be really careful when you're dieting to make sure that you are going to be able to sustain it and you are going to be able to do it in a healthy way, because you only get one body, you want to take care of it. I think that's all I wanted to say. Check out the article that I'm going to link in the description box, all about reverse dieting, how to set it up properly in terms of your macros, like your protein, carbs, and fats. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. If you'd like to apply for coaching, I will put the link in my description box as well. And that's all. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.